Your unique story, our global audience. Global One Media.
Hi, welcome to Global One Media. Today I'm joined by Gordon Aldcorn, who's the VP of Corporate Development at San Lorenzo Gold, a company focused on exploring for copper and gold, and owns 100% of three prospective exploration properties in Chile. Hi, Gordon. Thank you for joining us today. How are you?
Good. Thank you, Bastian. Thank you for having me.
So Gordon, to start off, could you please give us a brief overview of yourself and of San Lorenzo Gold?
Sure. I've been with San Lorenzo a relatively brief time, but my background, I came up through the capital markets side of the business. I'm located actually in Calgary here. I came to Calgary some time ago. I started out with the Alberta Stock Exchange in the market surveillance side of the regulatory side of the stock exchange. So I've come a long way since then. More recently, most of my time has been spent on working with junior public companies in terms of in bettering their exposure to the public markets, advising them on some regulatory matters, and also just how to make the company more successful. So I've been fortunate to come into San Lorenzo, as I say, relatively recently. And I think the company has some fantastic opportunities here.
Excellent. So can you tell us more about the potential of the three copper and gold projects that you're working on in Chile?
Sure, absolutely. A little bit of background on San Lorenzo. First, it was formed as an amalgamation with Kairos Metals in the latter part of 2020. It was a qualifying transaction for TSXV go public exercise. The properties, we do have three properties in Chile. I should mention that the portfolio is assembled by our VP Exploration and Country Manager, Terry Walker. Following a career of cutting his teeth as a geologist and project manager in Canada, Terry relocated on a permanent basis to Chile 30 years ago.
Right.
And in as much as established an extensive knowledge of the geology and mining opportunities available there. He was the primary person on the side of getting these properties together for us. Bastian, the properties, let me start with the properties that we've conducted preliminary work on and plan to advance further in the future. Both have had surface programs conducted on them to correlate historical results, including results from the artisanal mining that's taken place on these properties. Nancungao is a 100% owned 1,200 hectare property located 120 kilometers south of Santiago. It's in the southern part of the country. The target is a high-grade gold and silver and epithermal veins that have shown to extend over 6 linear kilometers with 4 target zones from surface outcroppings that reflect up to 50 grams per ton gold and 55 grams per ton silver. Mm-hmm. There's also been some historical drilling on the property that shows results over a number of meters in that same type of mineralization. So it's a very enticing prospect project for us. Punta Alta is 100% owned 2,000 hectare property located 8 kilometers northwest of the historic Carrizo Alto copper gold cobalt camp that produced over 562 million pounds of copper and 1.8 million ounces of gold. Both of these properties are in the Chilean coastal iron oxide copper gold IOCG belt that also hosts the Candelaria and Andacolo mines. Mm-hmm. It's a very prolific belt, continues through the central part of the country. Our current primary focus, however, is the Salvadora property, which is 25 kilometers east of Diego de Almagro, consisting of 8,800 hectares that is 100% owned. All of our properties are 100% owned. The property is located within the highly productive Andean mega porphyry copper belt, which hosts some of the world's largest porphyry copper gold mines, including Chico Quemada and Escondida. Of particular relevance in this regard is the El Salvador copper gold mine that has been in production since 1956, with a mineral deposit believed to be in the order of 24 billion pounds. This is since it's started its production of copper, and 5.6 million ounces of gold. The mine life of El Salvador has recently been extended a further 20 years.
Okay.
The relevance being that the El Salvador mine is on trend 15 kilometers to the northeast of the Salvadora property and forms a basic thesis of our current exploration program. So just to expand on that a bit, you'll see in our presentation on our website that we're in very close proximity and on trend to the El Salvador mine, which just continues to give results. It's actually owned and run by the government company there, and has been an immense producer for the country. Our objective, given the proximity of the El Salvador mine, is identifying porphyry-related structural mineralization showings that we see on the Salvadora property. An intercept in our 2006, well, it actually wasn't it was our predecessor company, 2016 drill program, proved a relevant interest in terms of its intercepts. And a number of holes drilled in our recent program sought these intercepts following targets drawn from our IP program that we recently shot on the property.
So, Gordon, could you tell us more about the latest results you received from your Salvadora property?
Sure, Bastian. So the Salvador property, we recently conducted what's actually the third phase of drilling on. This is the first phase that's been conducted under San Lorenzo. We actually drilled 10 holes. 3 of those were into the Arco de Oro zone, which is a vein system that lies on the southwest corner of the property. I should mention that we have 2 vein systems and a number of alteration zones that reflect potential for a porphyry style deposit. So on this most recent drill program, we put 3 holes into Arco de Oro that reflected the highly mineralized vein system that's there. We've done previous drilling on that. That's been reflected already. I'll mention Tres Amigos, which is another vein system on the northwest or northern part of the property. That's been fairly well established. And then the remaining 7 holes we drilled into what we call the CMZ zone. That is actually our porphyry, one of our porphyry targets. And to that extent, we announced actually a porphyry discovery, porphyry structure discovery on one of the holes in those 7 holes on October 17th, just recently. This was highlighted by 112 meters of 1.17 copper equivalent of porphyry structure, porphyry style mineralization. This is a very exciting event for the company and sort of lays the groundwork for where we're going to go forward.
Great. So could you also tell us more about the Chilean government and how supportive they are with regards to your activity in the country?
Sure, Bastian. Well, you'll probably, if you've been following the events in Chile over the last 6, 8, 12 months, you recognize that there's been some events that have taken place there. First, let me say, Chile is recognized as one of the best mining jurisdictions in the world.
Right.
And for those who are not familiar with Chile to that degree, it's the world's top copper producer. Mm-hmm. This is a country that's been in the mining business for a very, very long time, and in fact, depends on the mining industry for quite a bit of its GDP and employment. It's been a large driver historically. It was of particular interest recently with the election of a new president of what is typically referred to as more leftist leaning. Mm-hmm. At the same time, a consultation was being undertaken about rewriting the Constitution and how that may impact the mining sector. As it turned out, I'll say common sense prevailed, given the mining environment in the country, and the existing structure has been very supportive of mining, and I think that was recognized as being an important element for the country to maintain. And as a result, it mitigated any significant material changes to the ownership, operations, or taxation within the mining industry, and the continuation of the jurisdiction being recognized as one of the more friendly and productive mining districts in the world.
Okay.
I'll just mention that there's been some some of the focus on the ESG aspects and benefits to Indigenous communities.
Mm-hmm.
These are all things that I think, for the most part, mining companies, including ourselves, are very cognizant of, and these things are going to be observed more and more in the future as we go, regardless.
So as a last question, what factors do you think will help San Lorenzo Gold outperform the market, and what exciting development should investors be looking out for in the near future?
San Lorenzo, as mentioned, is a holder of a number of highly prospective properties with very promising traits and indicators. Our objective ultimately is to generate superior returns for our stakeholders. The Salvadora property in particular offers multiple opportunities of exploitation, but the focus is currently on the discovery of porphyry-related systems, as I mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Our recently completed drill program has given us a clear understanding of the next drill locations and delineation, not simply finding the prospective porphyry structure. This is what excites us the most. This is our second hole that's intercepted this porphyry-style mineralization, and this is what we're going to be pushing forward on. These are large mineralized deposits, and we feel we're on the right path to uncovering one on the property, or multiple ones for that matter. We believe that the structure within the property has potential to be clusters of porphyry-style mineralization, and that's where our future drilling is going to go to.
Great.
These are still early days, but our next program will tell an interesting tale for sure.
Excellent. Well, Gordon, thanks a lot for all the information and for your time today. We look forward to seeing the next updates and developments from San Lorenzo Gold.
Very good. Thank you, Bastian.